Okay, welcome to John Pennekamp State Park Campground in Key Largo, Florida. Okay, so right now I'm standing at the entrance to the campground that has a key gate, and then if I pan to the right, down there is trailer storage, the dive shop, and just a little bit past that are all the other amenities, which I will show you. All right, so one thing about Pennekamp, it's not that hard. I shouldn't say that. This is the easiest of the campgrounds in the Keys to get into, relatively speaking. It's still not easy, but you can often, at least in the summer, you can often find spots available, even 2 or 3 months out. May only be 1 or 2 available, but I've often found them. And that's probably true of other parts of the year, maybe not the busiest season, but you can often find a spare campsite available here. Okay, so now I'm going to take you on a little tour of the campground area and the park itself. It's not a big park, but there is a lot of amenities. There's more amenities here than at any of the other state parks in Florida. But as you'll see, the campground isn't as nice as the other campgrounds. I don't like it as much, but it's a trade-off. You have more things to do right on site here that are really convenient. Campground's not quite as nice, but it's still quite passable. It's still decent. All right, so let's go take a tour. Okay, so let's take a look at the campground itself. So here's an aerial view from Google Earth. You can see, so there's the campground a little close up, and we'll take a quick drive through also through the campground. And over here you see is the dive shop and where you go out on the dive boats. Then over here is the main marina. Over here are glass bottom boats right here, and snorkeling boats that go out. And over here, aerial view, here's just some places you can launch kayaks and also go swimming as well. It's like grass beds over here. There's another launch area there, another little beach there, which I'll take you a drive around. And as we go back here, okay, here's the main gift shop over here, and then there's also the aquarium, which I'll show you here. And here's the parking lot, main parking lot, and this is where a lagoon where you can snorkel. Right around in here is the little fake cannons and stuff to snorkel on. It's about 20 feet deep in here. You can snorkel along in here. And as you go out here through the entrance, there is a trail that goes through here. I wouldn't recommend it in the summer. It's just way too hot and buggy, but it's really nice if you're there in the cooler months. So it's not too far to US 1. You just follow that. Then as you get to US 1 over here, then you're not too far away from there's a gas station. I think that's a gas station there, and then there's some other little shops. There's grocery stores down here. You're definitely within biking range of a grocery or two, and of most conveniences if you're in a drivable RV and you don't have a car with you and you don't want to have to move it once you get there. It's a couple miles away. About everything is within 2 or 3 miles away, so it's definitely doable, bikeable. So that's just an overall view. Let me just zoom out a little bit, and that just kind of shows you where you're at here. So there it is. Starting where you come in here at the ranger station to check in. So let's take a drive back. It's not a really big park. This is the Florida Keys, and let's head on back. So nice little wooded area, and there is a little trail that goes through here that we've been on before. It's kind of hot in July to walk the trail, so prefer not to. But there's a nice little trail through here if you're here during the cooler months. That's well worth checking out. It's not right there, I don't think. Yeah, that's for service vehicles. And we might have already passed it. It winds through here though. So it's not too far back. So first we'll take a look at some of the facilities. Okay, as you come from the check-in station, you go just a little bit of ways, then you come to the main activity area. We got some picnic areas. You've got the marina that has all kinds of things, and over here we'll look at this first. This is like the beach lagoon where you can go swimming or snorkeling or even scuba diving just as a checkout dive. So over here on the right is the visitor center and aquarium. So we visited this earlier today, so we'll take a look at that right now.
Go in, and then once they have voluntarily captured themselves, you give them some kind of reward. In Louie's case, it's food. It could also be a nice smell or a toy. And he's just going to hang out there until he gets the reward he's used to expecting. They like to hang out under the rocks. We actually have multiple across the different tanks, but there are 2 in this one. And if we were not to have Louie target trained, he would try to steal their shrimp before they could get a chance at it. But because we've taught him this behavior and because he's expecting his own reward for staying and behaving.
Okay, as you keep going, over here they have a nice concession, gift shop, snacks where you can book snorkel tours and rent kayaks, equipment, all kinds of stuff, and have a little gift shop and a little bit of food in there. And then over here is the main little beach that is roped off, and you can swim in there. Now it is about 20 foot deep out in the middle, but it's all muckety muck on the bottom. You go along the edges, there's some rocks, and then over here on the left there is some cannons, fake cannons that they sunk, and you can see some fish. Not going to really see much in the way of coral, and it can get pretty murky and mucky in there. A lot of seaweed oftentimes, so it's something to do. It's, you know, good for swimming because it can get a little deep, but you know, it's nothing like being out on a reef where it's real nice. But it is a nice feature, you know, have something like this. Alright, so we're back over here. Alright, then down there is, that's where if you're going to go scuba diving, there's an operator out of there and a dive boat. And you can snorkel if you're in a party that has scuba divers. They will let you snorkel normally on the dive boats. So it's a real nice little dive shop over there and concession. Alright, so then over here you get your snorkel boats, and then there's a glass bottom boat over here and some other concessions. And some nice restrooms here and some showers. Some nice freshwater showers over here that are nice. So you have that. I mean, Pennekamp has the nicest concessions of all the state parks here in the Keys, definitely by far. They've got the most stuff to do, but it's also the most crowded, most people running around. So I'm driving around here in the evening, and it is almost always dead in the evening here. So we go over this little bridge. And there's a couple other beaches down here, kayak launches. There's definitely kayaking here, some kayak trails. Just keep in mind in the summer it is extremely hot and humid and very buggy. So here's some other parking for some of the other areas where you can access the water, kayak launch and so forth. Yeah, there's a kayak landing right over there. More picnic tables. So, you know, it's all about the time of year when you come here. Certain things I won't do in the summer, and kayaking really isn't one of them. normally, because it's very buggy out there and very hot. So as you go down to the end, a little parking area here, and there's another kind of a little beach. So we'll drive through here real quick. There's a little boardwalk. I'm sure that's buggy right now. And this is another area where you can snorkel and stuff. It's mostly seagrass in this area, so it's not grassy. There's not really any rocks to speak of, so you know, you're limited on what you're going to see. But it's just another place to hang out and cool off. Something else to do. Alright, so there's another look at it, and then right here we're looking across back to that little beach lagoon area that we were at before. That's right over there. Okay, so take a quick look. It's getting dark here. Here's at the dive shop. There's a dive boat. You can see right there. Never had any trouble booking or getting on this boat just a week in advance. I mean, I always do it in the week, though. I don't come on weekends normally. So here's a little dive shop. There's restrooms there, changing rooms, and there's some freshwater showers outside. So it doesn't get any easier than this if you're staying at the campground and you're a diver. I mean, this is pretty darn easy. Okay, we're going to take a little drive through of the campground area. So we just went past the dive shop, and it's right next to that. So it's not, if you're especially in the first part of the campground, you're easy walking distance of the dive shop. And you do have to do a key code here. So I'll do that. Okay, so here we go. These are our sites. The ones right here at the beginning have a little bit more room, a little bit more privacy, especially on the right, but not much, as you can see. So I'm not going to just look at each one individually. We're just taking a quick spin through here. So these are not, I would say this is my least favorite campground as far as the actual campground layout. Not that it's bad. It's better than private campgrounds in the Keys generally, but it's not as much room or as much privacy as the other ones I've been at, like Bahia Honda or Curry Hammock. Haven't been to Long Key. There's the restroom area. Not bad. It's fair. I mean, it's fine. I mean, I've seen better. You know, roomy enough showers and toilets, and you know, fairly clean. So this is what you see here. So this is pretty typical. You know, a little bit closer together than I'm used to, but you know, it's fine. This is the Keys. As you can see, this side is more shade, so there's not a lot of shade at the campsites in general. Very little shade for the most part. There's a few exceptions. Then there's another restroom down here on the end. Looks like they're cleaning it now. It's like a little after close to 8 in the morning. That one's small. The showers are nice in there, but the toilet stalls are just tiny. So if you're like more than 6 feet tall, you'll have problems in there. Alright, and so I'm going back the other way now. You know, there's a little bit more shade down on this end of the campground. It's also very buggy. Got to remember that. Very buggy here, and in the summer, obviously extremely hot. Alright, so that gives you an idea of what the campground looks like. Okay, I hope you found this brief tour helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. If you'd like to support the channel, there is some Amazon links in the description box below. So hope you found this helpful, this quick tour, and we'll see you later.